be doing a trifecta recording, pretty much 3 league games for CSLL, which I have not done. I've only done one game for it, and I subbed into this league, and I just finished the league. So pretty much, if you saw my first game, I beat Junior Sniper, and it wasn't a good matchup, and this is not a good matchup either. I remember I got essentially 6-0'd by Combine Jacksoy Speed. Gyarados Mega I had very few answers for. It honestly was a pretty crappy matchup. I mean, I had answers to these things, but they were still difficult to deal with. He was in CPBA, and I never played him. So he didn't lose much either. I mean, like in Division 1, because he got a little bit of a bid there after he won Division 2. So I forget how this game goes. It's been a very long time, but we'll see what happens here. Okay, he leads Piloswine, and I start with Blaziken. Here he goes into Gyarados. Actually, I believe I have Flame Charge here. Oh, Stars Dance, my bad. I don't know if I even have, I probably have Agility. Okay, so now I switch out, because I didn't, yeah, this turn I did not know the Mega rules. If you had a Mega turn 1 or whatever, you didn't. And it took forever on that turn. And I figured out you didn't. So I switched out, and I actually probably should have stayed in, because I was Sash, and I had a speed boosting move. I actually think it was Agility. And if I would have clicked Agility, I would have just won the game. But that did not happen. I would have won 6-0, I believe. So I go into Avalok, which pretty much just tanks hits from Mega Gyarados. As long as he didn't run like stupid sets. If you were to run a Fire Blast Mega Gyarados, which if you run that, you have a problem. So he goes into Klefki, and I just decide Rhyperior probably can answer everything he'll do, even though he might, that. So he goes into Piloswine. I believe I have rocks. Yeah, set up my rocks. And I go into Avalok because he can just take hits from almost everything on his team, actually. And he goes for Stealth Rocks. I don't know if I brought Rapid Spin in this matchup. I probably did. But I click Earthquake, so I'm assuming actually I did not. I'm going to go out here into the Rhyperior. And he's going to go with Psychic, and it's going to do a fuckload. I'm not going to lie. And yeah, he just takes me out here. And I'm pretty happy that he's Life Orb at this point. And I go into my Heat Train. I forget what set. This has been a while. I click Magnus. Oh, God. I believe here I have a Passo, but I'm afraid of Earthquake, if I remember. No. No, I completely forget. Okay, he gets a flinch. Oh, that's bad, yeah. And I probably had... I don't remember. Jeez. Okay, sorry. I do Harden to Latios here. He goes out and into Piloswine. I Mega Evolve here. And I click Grass Knot, which I use Grass Knot over T-Bolt because it actually did, I think, more. And it did more to Piloswine. I go into Avalok here, just tank hits. I know I have Recover on this thing. And I know I have Barrier. Because it deals with +6 of this. He hit Escavalier, which actually I was a little surprised he didn't bring, because my Barrier Avalok would just completely wall that thing. Even if he set up a Swords Dance or if he was banned. See, I just click Recover there. It's gonna click Reflect. I believe I Earthquake. Yeah, it doesn't do very much, but it's a good chip damage. He sets up a light screen. I probably Earthquake. No, it Toxic, because I expect him to switch out. Okay. Now he's gonna Toxic me. That's gonna really suck. Be another Earthquake. It's a decent chip. It's just kind of looking to set up, some stuff. But I am losing, Now he goes into Mega Gyarados. And Earthquake does almost nothing because it'll Reflect. So he goes Ironhead, which is a nice reveal there for Boo. And it gets a flinch, and that really sucks. So now I need to recover, pretty much. And if you would have clicked Ironhead and gotten a flinch there, well, actually toxic, because I'm going to let this thing die. He's at low enough health. That makes sense. Okay. I forgot I had toxic. And this game has been, yeah, it's December 10th, you can see, so it's been almost a month. So I do recover there on that waterfall. I stayed in because I thought he would be kind of, I thought he would overpredict. And I believe I just, oh, that sucks. But I kind of wall this anyways. The light screen wears off, which is what I was actually waiting for, by the way. I remember that. I'm just gonna finish this guy off. He didn't have Ice Shard, which is, or if he did. So I do have some defense, special defense, so I can tank this stuff pretty well. And I believe he does not have recovery on his actual speed. So essentially what that means is I can just keep recovering, and it's more likely that he dies of life orb damage than actual other types, but I don't do that. Yeah, but that's fine because I mean he train. Well, first off I go he train, but to see if he has hidden power ground or if he's scarf. Because if he was scarf or specs with sludge wave, yeah, I win. But I go Noivern here, which deals with screens very well because as infiltrator. I do click Dragon Pulse, which, and I'm gonna Dragon Pulse again. Just, yeah, because it deals with the screens. And I don't expect him to stay in the whole time. I do go Blaziken here because I realize that he can do that. And he goes for a Reflect, which I don't really like that play. I click an Agility here. And I think I just go Flare Blitz. He goes Toxic, okay. I might go Sword. Yeah, I do go Sword Stance, okay. That's a little ballsy. Maybe looking back at that, that's a little bit ballsy. So I'm going to click Fire Punch there. And luckily I brought Fire Punch and not Flare Blitz. Shout out to Freislander of the MPL Miners. He kind of prompted me to use Fire Punch. The crit did not matter, by the way. I remember after the game we had some discussion about it because he thought that Salazzle outsped Noivern. It does not. So I end up sweeping Bobert with the Blaziken through screens in a really close game. And a pretty bad matchup. I definitely made. I think I played it okay, but it's been a while, so I can't really tell. So my next game was against. At this point, I subbed for a decent guy. He had 2 losses at the beginning. After 2 games against opponents that, right now, by the way, both these players, Bobbert and Junior Sniper, have both made playoffs. So I've been playing good competition so far, considering for the league that I'm in, right? So at this point, I am ranked third, I believe. And the next guy I'm going to play at this point, because I helped a certain guy win, he's ranked number 1. And he has 1 loss at this point. And I'm hoping to get a small upset, 3v1. I mean, I haven't lost yet, so. But I also, even though at this point, Bobbert and Natalie were both not projected to make the playoffs. Natalie, Junior Sniper. So it didn't seem like those were good wins. I mean, they probably still aren't. It's just, they're good in this league. At least that's the minimum thing you could say. So he leads off Sneasel, and I leave up Tapu Boo. I remember this play very clearly. This game was much closer to now. Um, Pretty much, I'm gonna do middle ballsy thing here. I'm just gonna horn leech this turn, and I'm just gonna kind of. The reason I did this was because first off, he might double. That's the first thing, or overpredict with like a knockoff. But I don't think he would do that because I have a Blaziken. But I do have Golbat, so I was thinking that he might, because even the other thing that's weak to ice, because my whole team's not that weak to ice. And one thing that also is weak to ice, knockoff is going to destroy. And you got speed. So I was thinking maybe he go knockoff first. Maybe he's going to overpredict something like Heat Train and go for a low kick or something. And maybe he's going to click Icicle Crash. And if he clicks Icicle Crash, I realized I kind of did some calcs and the consequences weren't that bad. So this is how it plays out. He does click Icicle Crash. However, when I get my Horn Leash off, I pretty much restore to 72%. So that's just a little taste of reality there. That Tapu Bulu is just a monster. And Horn Leech, it's a reliable form of recovery for Tapu Bulu when you have crashy terrain in the back. So now he goes into Landorus, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like Sludge Wave obvious, so obvious, so obvious. I'm gonna go Heat Train. And yes, he does go Sludge Wave. And here, I believe I brought Scarf Tran in this game. So I believe I just go for an Overheat. And I do, yes. And he's at 2%. This was a roll, but it wasn't like a close roll. I mean, it was like, it wasn't like a low roll that I got. I got a decent roll. I put a horrible roll because I thought he EV'd this differently. And when I did it in the calc, it was a minus special defense nature. So I thought it was a really bad roll, but it really wasn't. So that comment was not justified. So here goes Medicham, definitely the biggest threat to my team. My Golbat is this a Zen Headbutt. I'm gonna get some good damage off on Brave Bird, give him to 3%. Sadly, I do not have priority on this team. So now I go Milotic, he goes Clefable. I'm gonna click Scald here. I do get the burn, and it is revealed that he is unaware, which is interesting. So I'm gonna go Bouffalant here, which 1v1s this Clefable. And is actually kind of a monster. So I'm gonna click return. You notice that does a lot of damage. Bouffalant is actually a monster, and it's really underrated. So after that, I reveal the facade, which just makes me look like a boss, honestly. He's gonna revenge kill it with the Mega Medicham, and I go Milotic now. He's gonna high jump kick and let this die, which I was shocked that he let this guy die. Because that's going to be crucial. This thing could have swept me. If he did not let that die, I think he very well could have won this game. Just right up there. But it's very difficult for him now. Now he has to pretty much bank on a Linoon sweep. And he's going to belly jump here, and I get the Agua Berry off, and I expect that. I just click Haze. So he probably thinks I'm going to Scald, so he goes another belly drum, and I'm just like, I'm not willing to risk this. I think this Blaziken's going to 1v1 Linoon, so I'm just going to Haze again. So he does kill my Milotic, and that's fine with me. I'm like, that's fine. And I send in Tapu Bulu, he extreme speeds, I'm just going to Horn Leech out, and now it's Breloom versus Bulu, and he goes Rock Tomb. It does a little bit, but not very much. And I click Horn Leech. It does some damage. Now, this is, actually kind of an ending that you're going to be interested in this ending. Because I kind of said good game too early, I think. We'll see. So yeah, it's going to be Breloom versus Blaziken. But I don't remember, exactly what I ran on this Blaziken. But what I do know is that Breloom is faster. I remember that very clearly. And he's going to do quite a bit with Mach Punch, but luckily I woke up to knock the Breloom out. So it was really close. I had some games because I actually mocked for this guy. I had some games that were really not that close when I did the mocks, but I did end up with a win here, and it was a pretty good game. Um, so that makes me I'm still undefeated in the league, technically 4-0, because there was another opponent that I got a win over that I didn't get like a replay for or something, or I don't even know if I played them, but yeah, okay. Um, and I have another game, my final game of the season, which sadly, when I went into this game, even though I hadn't lost a game, I knew even if I 6-0 this guy, I'd be 1 point of differential away from being able to be number 1 or number 2. So I could not get a bye. So the game did not really matter. Um, but regardless, I didn't want to drop a seeding. And it didn't really matter if I won it. So it only mattered if I lost it. So I did bring a normal team because he wanted to play before the matchup that number 4 guy played. I do not know what happened in that matchup. I don't think it's happened yet. So I believe here, this happened like today. So I lead off with Minetric, and he goes Himynameisbobert, and I'm going to instantly trick him a choice specs, and he's going to give me an assault vest off that, and he's going to drain punch me and do a fuckload, because he gets a crit, I think. Yeah. And now it's like, oh my god, rocks would just destroy me. And he's really specially bulky. I go Noiver in here. I know he specs. I can take hits. So, yeah, pretty much. Now I'm going to Heat Wave, predicting him to go into Celesteela. And it's going to do, good damage. It's going to burn him, so I know it's not going to be a roll. And then here I stall out a lot of time. Like I wait like 30 seconds, so he makes, well, not 30 seconds, a little, even more than that, I think. I think I waited 40 seconds to make him think that I was going to over-predict and switch out here. But instead, I'm just going to go for another Heat Wave and knock his Celesteela out. So that puts me in a good position. And he goes Deontay, which is the biggest threat probably to this team. And I'm going to go Rhyperior here and just like let that die. Yeah, could pretty much let that die. If he didn't have Substitute, it would have been a little bit better. Because, I didn't think he'd have Substitute. I think he had like Moonblast there, and maybe I could think of Moonblast plus Earth Power. But he's going to knock that out. That's fine with me. Forges does almost 76% to Deontay, by the way. So I'm going to use that to kind of bluff. He's going to go Ampapom, and I'm like, okay. So I go Moonblast, I do a fuckload, because this is actually especially offensive Forges. Which, yeah, it's a little surprising run there, but, and I'm going to protect here to stop fake out potentially coming. He's just going to return, and I'm like, once I see return, I'm like, is he banded? So I go into Heat Train then, and he's going to return again, but he does reveal he's not banded on the next turn, and you'll see that. He goes for a low kick, and that sucks. And I have a Battalion Berry, and I'm going to go for a Flame Charge. So now this makes me look like I'm in a really good spot here. So he's going to go Garchomp here, and I think, okay, I should probably just stay in. Because if he's Scarf, then I can just Revenge, and, just automatically win with this Latios. Because I have D-Dance, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and luckily he let his Celesteela die. Because it's Roost, Earthquake, Dragon Claw. So yeah, I set up a Dragon Dance, and an Earthquake, and I didn't really care about differential that much. I just wanted not to lose. So I set up an Earthquake. I actually switch out here because I'm not max speed, but I expect him to Dragon Claw, so I go into Forges, and Hitmonchan comes in. I'm going to set up a Calm Mind, and I'm faster than this Hitmonchan, and he does not have his Assault Fist anymore. But I'm going to see what he does with his choice specs, because those are locked in with Protect. So he's just going to Drain Punch, so I'm going to stay in, and just Moonblast him. So here he goes Garchomp, and I'm like, okay. And he Dragon Claws, which is really interesting. And I'm just going to Moonblast. I didn't even Protect on that thing. I thought he'd actually go Earthquake. And because I could have gone Protect. So now he's going to go Power Gem, which does nothing, and I'm going to win with Forges, offensive. So I did go undefeated in the regular season of this league, although I was a sub, and I only won 5 games or so. But it was only an 11-week league, and I beat 3 people that would make playoffs. And as you can see, 6 people make playoffs. So I played most of the good people in this league. So take that as you will. Actually, I might have even beaten 4. It depends who I beat week 7 on the week that I got just the league spin. It says the Tyrannitars. I do not believe they made playoffs. No, they were the worst team. So essentially, I mean, good games to all my opponents. I will have to, play to get in pretty much because I'm not a top 2 seed. Although, and actually, the guy that I beat that was number 1 did end up being the number 1 seed on a tiebreaker. And it's kind of funny, I guess. I don't know who I'm playing yet. I think it'll be a good game. I'm kind of hoping it's not Bobert because I don't like the matchup. But I believe that the Pachirishus lost their game. No, they won. They won a forfeit, 2-0. And the Escavaliers won 3-0. And I know the Escavaliers have head-to-head, so they're going to jump them. The Norwalk Nosepass lost, so they're out. These 2 teams are out, right? No. Cleveland Pachirishus are out. So Cleveland Escavaliers get in. 6-5 plus 2 differential. So I'm either playing the Houston Solar Rockets or the Cleveland Cavaliers, depending on what happens with Junior Sniper and Diggersby for OU. I actually kind of rigged the game. The one game I talked about, Diggersby for OU is the guy I helped beat the Florida for Alligators 6-0. So this is a win. They just haven't updated it. That was the game I showed you versus the Jersey Jump Bluffs, where I won 4-0, Forges sweep, which is pretty cool, honestly. I didn't expect to have a Forges sweep in my life, pretty much. How many kills did Forges get? 3 kills, damn. Monster, okay. So that pretty much caps it off for my CSLL. And I'll record the playoffs. It's been fun. So, actually, before that, I'm going to see if I can get my teams.